absolutely shocked. Oh no, I overdid it. This is too much. What have I done? I am a monster. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Bobby. Guys, it has been a while, but we are in full effect. It is response time. Today with healthy, crazy, cool pre-post workout meals. What I eat to fuel my intense workouts. Vegan, of course. Let's do it. Okay, still no protein. Yes, more fruits, more
and
fructose.
Some liquid gold. Woo!
What is that?
Such a f***ing idiot. And as always, a generous sprinkle of hemp seeds. Good morning, beautiful people. I know I've got a mohawk. It's just how it is. Do you know what? Yeah, it's got to the stage where I may as well just keep growing it. So you're gonna have to deal with it. Anyways, today I'm gonna take you through my kind of new pre and post workout meals. I know I've told you in the past like 4 million times that I don't eat pre-workout. And I didn't, and that's usually because if I'm doing cardio, something like swimming, yeah, if I'm doing like HIIT or cardio, something that involves like a lot of movement, then I always do an empty stomach just first thing in the morning because that's just what feels best for me. But
okay, let me interrupt you right there. If you want to lose weight, it is not a bad idea to do fasted cardio in the morning. Yes, vegans, I can tell you what is positive about your habits as well. No, I'm not just a hater. Cardio in the morning on an empty stomach, great idea, but it is really important to fuel your body afterwards. From what I've seen so far, we don't have any protein. Let's proceed.
If I'm doing a weight session, I can't not eat before. I mean, I can not eat before, but I know I'm not going to get the most out of my session if I don't. So,
true.
Yeah. Anyways, I've just been chopping up some beautiful fruit. This morning I found peaches, nectarines, other types of fruit. And I don't know why I'm standing here. Let me put you down. Hold on. Would you look at all of those beautiful colors and flavors?
Okay, the beautiful colors and flavors, because that matters. How? Why don't you just eat a bouquet of flowers? Colors do not matter. What matters is proper nutrition. You ran for probably half an hour. In that half hour, you ran through your glycogen stores in your muscle. Maybe you attacked a little bit of your glycogen in the liver. Fructose is stored in the liver. And now you're just replenishing carbohydrates again. This is the vegan logic. You're simply running on sugars. You have no building blocks. Only proteins and fats are essential. Only proteins are building blocks for your body. Yes, you are protein deficient.
Guys, I'm salivating in it. I'm also trying to get a good thumbnail.
In it.
But I feel like I'm failing. All right, so for my pre-workout meal, I'm having a big bowl of luscious fruit. This morning, I was gonna say at the market, this morning in the supermarket, in the grocery store, I found these amazing peaches and nectarines, and they're so sweet and juicy. I've said before that I'm not really a stone fruit person, and I'm totally not.
All right, again, for the fruitarians out there, fruits are natural food. Fruits are human food. No, all of those fruits are man-made. So, do I say everything that is man-made is bad? No, but take into consideration that in nature, in a natural environment, you wouldn't find this abundance of fruits. Obviously not all at once either, because fruits would be seasonal. He comes from the UK. In the UK, maybe at best you would find some wild berries, which would be much, much smaller. Carbohydrates are luxury of the modern Western world. You would never eat this way in the wild. So now, why do I tell you this? Because your body is an ancient machine. It is not adapted to loads and loads of fructose. Proceed.
But like when you get a good peach or a good nectarine, like you know. And then I've got some rasps as well and some black grapes, and I've drizzled it all in some liquid gold and a sprinkle of hemp seeds for a little bit of protein and crunch and omega-3 and top.
That is ridiculous. Just because you say it doesn't make it so. Couple of hemp seeds on top. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it is 20 grams of hemp seeds. How much protein do you have there? 3, 4, 5 grams at best. To really replenish your needs as a human being, you should eat at least 30 grams of protein per meal. Don't fool yourself. On top of that, it is of course mediocre plant protein. Those hemp seeds will lead to hormonal disruption.
And currently making some changes to my life, much needed changes. I've always said, like what everyone knows, that the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yes, dear vegans.
And in the last year, I have been training like the exact same way and expecting change. But then again, I've never denied that I'm insane. And I'm going to be working with someone on this journey as well, which I'm really excited about.
That is amazing. I'm not saying that he is killing it in the gym, but we all know that nutrition is 70 to 80% of the bodybuilding equation. And this is why you, dear healthy, crazy, cool, don't make any gains. You cannot make gains if you do not have protein. It is very, very simple. I always like to give you this analogy. Carbohydrates and fats being energy, think of them as construction workers, as bricklayers in this example. Proteins being the building blocks, being the bricks. You need enough workers and you need enough bricks to build a house. If you have too many bricks, not enough workers, obviously the work won't get done. But if you have a bunch of workers, aka carbohydrates, aka the vegan diet, and no bricks, obviously the house won't be built either. Look at him now, it is March 2020, and look at him in 1 year's time. No gains will be seen.
It's almost like a weight lifted off my shoulders to not be in control of my own training and just like put trust in someone else and have different goals. Of course, like in the past, like when I was in sport, I always had a goal. I had something to work towards. But now when I work out, I do it for the mental buzz. But I didn't have any specific goals until yesterday. So yeah,
what are the goals?
So expect to see a lot more like pre and post workout meal videos. As I go through this journey.
What are the goals?
Well, and I'm also going to be showing you, opening up the world to you guys of my crazy, insane workouts and what I do. Yeah, this video is just all about the food, but the next one I'll show you.
Get to it, man.
In 6 months' time, all of the vegan bodybuilders won't even be able to stand next to me because they will just look tiny. Simnet Nutrition is shaking in his boots as I film this. So
yeah, but honestly, taking your word for it, let's see it. Let's see it in 6 months from now. Mark my words, there will be zero progress.
There we go, that's better. Okay, but yeah, I find it very easy to do any kind of exercise, like cardio-wise, like swimming, Stairmaster, running, even though I don't run.
Of course, there he said it already. My goal is not to be a bodybuilder, just to get stronger. This is already admitting to failure. Man, what do you think? Do you believe that anybody walked into the gym and after a couple of days looked into the mirror absolutely shocked? Oh no, I overdid it. This is too much. What have I done? I am a monster. That never happened. It takes years and years on end to build a bodybuilder physique. Man, if you give it your all, you give it your best, in half a year, maybe, just maybe, you will build 3 kilograms of muscle mass. That would be already amazing. You won't look like a bodybuilder, but you already admit to defeat because you well know that you cannot build any muscle on your vegan diet.
Because I'm like a really, really bad runner. Or like boxing or skipping, anything like that. I find it very easy to do on an empty stomach. I've always said that when you train, It's more about what you refuel with than what you eat just before. So for example, I know that my meals the night before are so substantial that in the morning, you know, my glycogen stores are full and I'm full of energy and just ready to go. So yeah.
Exactly. Your glycogen stores are full. What did I just say in the beginning? Your glycogen stores are full. Nothing else. No amino acids floating around. No minerals. No vitamins. No animal hormones. Nothing. That is not a substantial meal. That is a carb load.
I find any kind of cardio very easy to do on an empty stomach. And I just also don't get tired. Sometimes I just want to be tired. Like I've always had high adrenaline my whole life. I don't know. I just don't get tired, like ever. It's because I'm vegan, innit? But yeah,
Yeah, it's because you're running on sugar.
Noticed that I get a lot more out of my weight sessions if I eat before. And so obviously to fuel that workout,
Oh, how long can you talk about a fruit bowl, man? Move on.
I want some good quality carbohydrates. And when I'm picking my carbohydrates, you know, especially if it's pre-workout.
Fruits are absolutely catastrophic carbohydrates for bodybuilding exercise. Why is that so? Because most of it gets stored in the liver, not in the muscle glycogen. For bodybuilding, starchy carbohydrates are preferable.
Workout, I want something that's refreshing, that's hydrating, that's easy to digest. And yeah, that's why I always go for fruit. It is just my preferred carb choice. If I were, now I've spoken about this before, two things I don't understand about pre-workouts, right? As in like, not pre-workout mixes, but what people eat before a workout. When I see people eating oatmeal before the gym, and the thing is, I wish I could be one of those people that eats oatmeal and goes to the gym, but if I eat oatmeal, I go to sleep. Like honestly, with oatmeal, it's got to the point where if I need to have another surgery in my life, like ever, and, you know, I've already had like 20, if I have to have another one, I would just say to the surgeon, don't give me a general anesthetic, just give me a bowl of oats before, and I will go to sleep for 4 days, and you can cut.
Yeah, because they wreck your digestion. I understand that. As a carbohydrate fuel source for workouts, you would choose something like white rice in your case.
Me open, and I won't even feel it. And also another common trend I've seen in like pre-workout videos is people eating rice cakes. Can't even talk about it. Why in the fuck would anyone want to eat polystyrene?
Yes, that is true. It is pretty bland tasting. Rice cakes are not a delicacy. But in terms of bodybuilding, you're eating for function. In this case, you want the carbs to go into your muscle, glycogen. Fruits get stored in your liver.
It differs from person to person what they like to eat before. If my first meal
Oh,
of the day was
still
workout,
talking about fruits. Let's fast forward. Yep. And there is the only protein source that vegans can absorb sufficiently.
How do you know this?
Because I've been a vegan for 4 years myself.
That is just anecdotes.
Yes, that is true. But talking to so many other vegan bodybuilders, everybody uses protein powders.
That doesn't matter. Meat eaters use protein powders too.
Yes, but meat eaters do not need protein powders. They may have a shake for convenience sake, but vegans rely on them. Supplements shouldn't be meal replacements. Supplements should be additives or can be used as such. Vegans replace their nutrition with supplements. B12, not found in the vegan diet, added in chemically. The same applies to protein. Absolutely pathetic.
Alright, so for my first post-workout meal, I'm having a high-protein smoothie. In this, I put frozen bloobs, lots of frozen bloobs.
Bah, bloobs, nooch, mooch. Why don't you talk like a human being?
1 scoop of the raw vegan Vivo Life acai and blueberry protein powder. The salted caramel one is still my favorite, always will be. But whenever I'm using berries, I like to throw in the acai and blueberry one because it makes it just like extra berry-ish, you know? So yeah, if you know after your
He looks like a little boy, he talks like a little boy, he eats like a little boy.
workouts that you're not going to be able to have a proper like good hearty meal for a few hours afterwards, this is a fantastic option. It's a great balance of healthy fats, carbs, proteins, and most importantly,
What kind of healthy fats? The body runs on saturated animal fats. You have none in that shake. All you have, again, is fructose. Great way to get fatty liver disease in the long run, and chemically synthesized protein powders. That is it.
Importantly, it just tastes bomb. It tastes
Bomb.
like drinking dessert, and it's one of my all-time fave smoothies. I think I put about 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds
How old is this guy, man? He behaves like a 12-year-old.
in here, and
Unreal.
then a good dollop of almond butter. And
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
oh shit, guys! I just realised that the almond butter that I put in this smoothie, I had actually saved for a nut butter review.
Yeah, who cares? Nut butters, this word should be illegal, especially almond butter, high in oxalates. Terrible.
Videos. So this is the nut butter in question.
Okay,
Roasted,
doesn't matter.
salted-
Indigestible. Completely indigestible. Indigestible as well. Why would you eat that stuff? Everybody hates it.
Salt and pepper.
Oh,
Garlic
help me.
infused olive oil. And the secret ingredient that makes this caramelized to orgasmic levels is the coconut's amino.
Broccoli and orgasmic levels. Sure.
Again, if you don't have this, you could use balsamic glaze or balsamic vinegar.
I don't want to use any of it. No, no, no! Onions to kill your gut biome. Fantastic choice. Vegetable oil, absolutely terrible for you. Omega 6 to 3 ratio is always out of whack. On top of that, you have no bioavailable fat soluble vitamins such as vitamin D or vitamin A. And that's the post-workout meal, right? Yeah. Cinnamon and turmeric. And a super poisonous pan on that note as well. Teflon completely scratched up. Good luck not getting cancer. Goitrogens. Lectins. More goitrogens. Absolute peasant food. It is always amazing to me to see that we as a civilization have come to a point in time where we go backwards. We have all the resources, all the money in the world, but instead of eating grass-fed beef, rotational grazing methods, right? Regenerative agriculture. No, we're gonna go back in time to peasant food. Fantastic. Awesome. Oxalates.
Name the anti-nutrient.
More tomatoes.
Right, now this is what I'm talking about. Look how like cooked down and okay, they're pretty hot. Cooked down and squishy these leeks are.
Yeah, obviously. So, yet again, for vegans to absorb some nutrition, they have to burn their veggies to the ground in order to break down the cellulose, in order to break down the fiber, to extract a little bit of nutrition. We cannot digest it. What is a species-specific diet? A species-specific diet is the diet that you can eat raw. Does it mean everything has to be raw? Is raw the law? No, that's not what I'm talking about. But you can look into nature and you can see that everything that is available to you should be available to you to eat in its raw state. What can we eat raw? Sure, couple of fruits. Congrats, vegans. And what else? Raw meat, raw fish, raw dairy, raw eggs. It all digests perfect. Why is that so?
I do not know.
And if you ever thought that leeks were boring, trust me, when you make them like this, they are sweet. And as for the broccoli, I've always told you that roasting broccoli just brings out the flavor to like
Yeah, the carcinogens, that's what it breaks out.
times 4 million. I also baked a
More
nice
carbs.
big white creamy potato
How is a potato creamy? Enlighten me.
to have with it. You guys know I'm all about the sweet potatoes all day, every day. But recently, I have just had the biggest white potato craving.
That is so terrible.
Loving it. I've got some beautiful,
Ah.
perfectly ripe Hass avocado, which I'm just gonna add for some healthy fats.
Dude, you could pay me $1 million, I wouldn't go vegan. Never again. Look at this. Nothing is digestible. None of this food. It is all indigestible fiber. Why do you think it is called insoluble fiber?
Creaminess, avocado and potato. I'm talking white potato. One of the best combos of all time. With tahini, of course.
Terrible. Try sour cream instead. Avocado as an animal fat replacement, of course.
Because I've allowed it to cool a little bit, and it has like this. Let me show you. Yeah, I let it cool a little bit, and it kind of has this like tomatoey crust on it, and it's like, look at that. I mean, it kind of looks like slop, but it tastes good.
Yeah. Oh, dude, okay, the only carbohydrate source that you can actually digest, that you can actually absorb is the potato. That is it. The rest is indigestible. You will shit it out. You will wreck your digestion. It is terrible for you. And then the beans on top. And this is your protein source. Couple of beans on top. The whole dish has mediocre 10 grams of plant protein. This is it. Unbelievable.
Alrighty, here is the final product. Again, these leeks, they are just something else. I was just snacking on the rest.
Something
because I
else.
roasted up like a big tray. Anyways, for the base of this bowl, I've got a lot of mineral-rich, dark leafy greens. We've got the roasted broccoli,
Yeah, but sadly you won't absorb anything.
leeks, some pickled red cabbage, half of a large creamy Hass avocado, and then I've got a white baked potato. I don't know what's going on, guys, but I'm all about the white potatoes. Before I just didn't get it. I was like, they don't taste of anything. Why would you? Why would you even? But I get it now. And then I filled that with some of the butter bean stew, which when you cook down, it will thicken as well. The only thing this is missing is a nice drizzle of liquid gold. Guys, did you
Okay,
even...
this is tahini, right? Again, absolutely terrible choice. It is just seeds blended up. You would never eat seeds in your natural environment. Seeds want to create a plant, right? They are the origin of life, if you will. You would never eat them. The seeds are filled with anti-nutrients because the plant wants to protect its seeds. It is that simple. All that you eat here is a load of anti-nutrients. You have no bioavailable protein. Terrible.
Did you even question? Like at this point, did you even question, like maybe even a tiny bit?
Disgusting. Absolutely
Now-
repulsive.
Alright, I just changed the lighting. I think you can see it better now. And again, when you're thinking in terms of a post-workout meal, don't just think of it in terms of fat, carbs, protein.
No,
If they're
what
full of
else?
Crappy sauces, which are pro-inflammatory. You're not helping your muscles out after a tough workout. You want good quality antioxidant-rich foods. Anyways,
Vegans are so delusional. It is unbelievable. He says something that on paper makes sense, but then in reality, he goes absolutely against it. Yes, nutrition post-workout is very important. Nutrition after your workout
Has to have a lot of antioxidants.
No, it has to have a lot of protein. This is truly important. And of course, carbohydrates if you choose to eat some. However, you have no protein in this meal. Don't you understand that you make your body suffer? Your body is suffering right now.
Healthy, crazy, cool.
It is suffering because it has no building blocks that it can use for building muscle. This is why you won't have any gains in 6 months. Alright guys, and this is it for today's video. Long enough. You guys asked me to respond to Healthy, Crazy, Cool. Apparently he gives good, balanced nutritional advice. I don't know how you can believe that. It is absolutely terrible. You won't build muscle like that. The vegan bodybuilders drink at least 3 shakes per day. This maintains some muscle. Most of them are on steroids as well. This is the truth. There is no vegan bodybuilding. There are no vegan gains. And again, alright, this is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And guys, if you want to support this channel, do me a favor and check out the links in the description box below. If you want raw grass-fed liver, but you cannot stand the taste, Grassland Nutrition has the solution. Grassland Nutrition takes grass-fed organic beef liver raw and freeze dries it for you. It is a convenient, fantastic way to get the nutrition of liver without the taste. We have Amazon links for you. You can head over there, buy whatever you might want to buy, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. We get a small share. That is a fantastic way to support Bobby's Perspective. If you want grass-fed beef delivered to your doorstep, BUTCHERBOX is for you. And we have CBD links as well. On top of that, guys, consider supporting Bobby's Perspective through Subscribestar or Patreon. We have a VIP community there where we have Skype group calls every single week where we can discuss any topic, no matter if it is health, lifestyle, or nutrition related. On top of that, by joining, you straight away receive your comprehensive nutrition guide. It is an ebook that teaches you the basics of nutrition but goes beyond as well and is catering to your personal goals, no matter if you're keto, primal, paleo, or even raw. Alright, but this is it for today. Thank you very much for your support, guys, and as always, much love and peace.